Well, I welcome you to episode 2. I'm just emptying the harvester into the trailer, following on from yesterday's, or the last episode, should I say, not necessarily yesterday's, because with one-time speed, we don't obviously go through the days. So the key here is to return this first, because it allows us to take the least amount of charges. That's what I mean about stupid workers. Well, my worker that we employed has apparently finished that field. Clearly not. That's a job that we will need to sort shortly, but that's the focus on getting on this back first to avoid a minimal charge. It's been actually a really good hire purchase or loan or demonstrator. To be fair, it's allowed us to work that field very quickly. We've still got a lot of things that need to be finished before August is out. We've got all our grass fields to mow, to convert into the necessary clamps that we've got. Obviously, we've got clamps at this farm. We've got a clamp at this farm. We've got a clamp at the secondary farm there on the right. Both, ideally, I would like to fill. We've got another clamp, obviously at the main farm, so we've got 2 in total at the main farm. I would look at filling the one initially. The second one, ideally, we would fill in like a month or 2 with a second cut. We can, and then it obviously ferments a little bit slower, and be ready a little bit later, because bringing the animals in will use a lot of that. But it's key to try and get a couple of these fields, or as many fields as done as possible today. And we'll see from there. But to do both hay and silage, really, we're going to have to either buy or hire a tedder and a rower and a forage wagon, at least then purchases today, possibly if we get to that kind of point. Obviously, hiring this as minimal outlay as we could, maybe a bit more expensive than maybe some of you may have gone down the route of, and may have done a smaller harvester, required more emptying, not quite as big header, but I think it was a good purchase. I think or a hire, because it's allowed us to progress that field as quickly as possible without necessarily costing us a significant amount of money. Well, I haven't returned it yet, but hopefully it doesn't cost us that significant amount of money. I think certainly at the moment I would look at this as, I would definitely purchase this next time or in the future. It's a good size. It isn't too large for the map, should I say. It's just about right. It's nice to pull the header behind it. And obviously this doesn't always happen in the UK and farming. That car's going to come out again, isn't it? Look at that. That is just like ridiculous. I knew that was going to happen. Why? See, another part of this map that is quite annoying is the amount of cars, one after another, after another, after another. Alright, let's try and get across there before I get hit again. Where was I? Yeah, in the UK, I would think that sometimes the tractor, or quite often the tractor, pulls the header. So let's just return these before we do anything else. Oh, it's now slow tank. The rented. There we go. No additional costs result. Oh, and I've just remembered at the end of the last episode, I said there's, well, not really a surprise, kind of something that I've gone past the gate. I've purchased just a little bit of an update, so we'll get this back to the farm. There's a little bit left, and then we're gonna have to. I'll show you my purchase, and then I will have to go and sort that grass out. So hopefully it won't take too long. I might put the worker back on it, but I need to sort. Sometimes that happens. The shapes of the fields are, I suppose, challenging, or more challenging on this environment. Now let's see if you can spot my sizable, should I say, purchase. Before I go, so it's slow progress, slow progress. Can you see it? Yes, I'm sure you can by now. So turn it into the farm. So we're talking about storage. So we got the a local firm in, and really utilise that land. Really, it's not going to be used there. To at the end of the clamps to put in a storage bin. Multi-fruit, which is great. Whether people agree or disagree, I will use it to store hay in as well, because currently in this farm, until we can get like a hay loft or something purchased when we have the funds, then I think that's probably the most, well, it's the option I've got really, rather than being unrealistic. Well, so to speak, I suppose that is unrealistic in some people's eyes. I think it's a required purchase. So let's sort this. Press the wrong button. Let's go and sort it out. So I think what's happened here is it's gone up the first run on the right there, and then come down on the second run and then think, oh, I finished. No, and when it hasn't, so a bit frustrating. Maybe if I'd not done the headland, but it might have done okay. But it's just these farm workers, isn't it? They can't leave them unattended for too long, because things just go wrong, or they break things. Yeah. Well, hopefully doing this little bit here is I'm going to then take it up to this corner, and let's have attempt to do that. Again, it's a funny size, it's a funny shaped field on the other side as well, so it's possibly just going to do the same after a few minutes and become painful, but one of them things. So yeah, whilst we're here, I've just flipped over. This is the other farm with the fat beast. So there's a silo there, and then that's not a silo. It's quite deceiving, really, to kind of give it away. You've got your bigger beef cattle shed, followed by your smaller beef cattle shed, which is the end one, which is quite good. It's obviously beef, but you can have dairy cows in there. You can have lots of different. Oh, hello. What are you doing in here? Yep. So they're obviously outside at the moment. So we can obviously look at that. Some of these greenhouses really, I need to put some water into. We don't get a lot of money out of it, but it'll be useful to get some water through within there. So, as we said before, we need to go to the shop. I need to look at a tedder, a windrower, and a forage wagon. I think I think these items really I'd like to purchase them because they're all going to be used quite a lot, because with us having cattle, or lots of cattle to start with anyway, and we can diversify as we go through, but we're going to use these things quite a lot, so they're good value to purchase if we can purchase. We've got a decent amount of money. Obviously, we've now got some corn that we can sell, some barley when the price is right, or when we need additional cash. That sort of product is usually November, December that the best price is for you, so the furthest away from now. So nice Christmas present, early Christmas present for us if we can get that money for it. I suppose really when you look at these tractors are really, I've got a lot of hours on them, are literally worthless in terms of value, but actually are very useful and cost effective in terms of keeping them, because selling them makes no money. So even when you've got the ability to upgrade them, then you can still keep these guys on the farm just to do the basic jobs like they do on real farms, really. Right, so we are going to look at tedders first. So, whoa. So we are not. 13 meters is 27,000. 7,000. 9 meters. 16. 6 meters. I like that one because it's quicker, but it's 27,000. So 27,000 some lovely windrows here. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that one. I like that one. I purchased that one now. Just because it's a decent width. Forage wagon. So we've got to think of the horsepower. It'll run the 130 horsepower, but it's only... the price difference for 3,000 is just not worth it. 150 horsepower. So we're not really left with much of an option. We have to go with this one. I don't put the additive tank on. And then we've got the windrower. I'm going to spend a little bit. the tedder, just because it will allow us to save time. Obviously, baler wise, I don't want to spend the outlay of the baler initially. I don't believe we need to. And that allows us to do that. So, what we need first. So the worker's finished its task. Well, I bet you it hasn't. So we are going to convert that first field that we've already mown and I've just realised this horsepower of this tractor. Why do I make the schoolboy errors? It's 136. Oh no, it's okay. I think it's just struggling a little bit. Any idea? No idea. I didn't really look at the horsepower, did I? With the tedder. Oh, 75. Yeah. So why is that tractor doing that? No idea. Anybody knows, comment below. It just seems to have, like, struggled down the lower gears. Maybe it's just old. Maybe. So yeah, not sure how people feel so far and feel it's going or things that can improve, but I'm making this second episode straight on the back of the first episode that you may have or may not have seen. So obviously I'll read the comments from the first video hopefully before I get to record any more content, or maybe I won't get time. Maybe I'll do a third and a fourth video back to back before I get a chance to read all your comments, but certainly I will, like I said in the previous episodes, I will come back to you and feedback and try and make some changes and adaptations and things you'd like to see or not see, and we'll go from there. And I've just done that wrong. Going out just now. This I think will help us immensely. It will be much faster to go through. I did say about the bigger machinery, didn't I? Oh well. We can have a treat. I need to go and check that mower in a minute again, because I believe something's gone wrong again. Again, I think this machinery is good value. Doesn't take long to pay for itself, really. Again, like with the mowers, speed that you can work at, and again the amount of grass fields that potentially we can create hay from, or over the course of the next few months. Clearly, be a period of time where the grass won't grow, or it'll be too wet to create hay. So we've got to make the most of it. So to speak, as they say, make hay while the sun shines. Corny, I know. Yeah, so yeah, I think this tractor's handled this quite well now, so I don't know what was up before, so But this is the field. Again, I think we should sow with possibly oats. Probably, well, the reason I say oats is value-wise, oats is a good value in the game. The important bit's the straw for us, really. We need to create a general regular supply of straw. I don't really want to be buying it in. Yeah, definitely a really good choice with this tedder. Efficient work in the August sunshine. We'll just quickly finish it up, and I'll be back with you as soon as I've finished. Right, you join me back. Just completing this field tethering, and then we're gonna need to go and sort the mower out that I believe has gone wrong again. I think the workers probably going to end up doing it myself, or certainly doing parts of it myself. Oops. Let's go and take this down to the farm. We need to go back and fetch the windrower to windrow all that field up, and obviously then we can start to gather the hay, but we need to make some silage as well. Let's park this here for a second, and I'll skip over to, it seems to have got stuck in the fence. Oh, I may have been a little bit harsh on this. I'm just going to fold up the back. I may have been harsh. I'll apologise to the worker that I've got in. They've actually done a reasonable job, to be fair. So we're just going to go through to the next field, which I think's well, it is bigger. So I'm going to go up top, just because I just want to be mindful that quite often what happens is the top of the fields are always quite tight with a obviously got that straw to collect in as well. Please don't let me forget. Done that before. So I don't really know what I'm starting on this corner is going to do. It's going to cut all that out. So it's either do the left or do the right, and we'll have to do the alternative. That's fine. We'll skip back to this tractor. I'm just going to leave that there for the time being. We're going to find a home for all our equipment as we go along, and there's quite a lot of storage in these farms actually that you can pull things together. Probably more on the other farm, to be fair, on the storage front. So let's go and get the windrower. And we will row this hayfield up, and then get the forage wagon, and we can do that. Lovely day for a spot of golf on the left. The rough looks a bit long. Could do with a bit of a mow by the looks of it. Yeah, one thing I've noticed probably with the age of these two older tractors in particular, the maintenance they require now goes down quite a lot. So you end up spending quite a reasonable amount of money on the upkeep, really, the maintenance, which I guess probably isn't reflective of, maybe is reflective of certain farms, but most farms that I'm aware of that this sort of machinery that was old, they probably maintain less, and just really run into the ground, particularly the age of them. So, but we're going to maintain them to a good standard. We need to utilise them until we can afford more horsepower, and that goes with all that. So let's get this windrower up and running, rocking and rolling. This is where we get hit by another car. No, we don't. Oh, nearly. It's a death trap, that corner. Absolute death trap. Should put another roundabout on it, or traffic lights. That's what we do in the UK. Roundabouts for everything. And if not that, traffic lights. So it's a reasonable size windrower, nowhere near the size of the Tedder that we've got previously, but hopefully it rows it up into decent size rows, and we can use the forage wagon, or the storage wagon as I keep trying to call it, to gather it up. There's going to be quite a few loads, I would think, going to the farm, so it's going to be quite a long task, but again, we will see how it goes. And again, I'm going to do as much of it, well, quite a bit of it off camera, because don't think you need to see that kind of stuff. I just want to do a little bit of this. Off on camera, and then we can go from there. And yeah, it's a little bit on the small side, even for this type of operation. It's gonna really create a lot of rows, to be honest, which is not ideal. Maybe I should have done it the way around. Smaller Tedder, bigger wind rower, but we live and learn. We live and learn. Yeah, so it's going quite well. Um, but these are the sort of things these older tractors are ideal for, really. You don't need the horsepower. They're not. It's not going to do it any better, any faster with a bigger tractor. Ultimately, it would do if you use a big windrower, but if you put a 350 horsepower tractor on this small windrow, it still works at the same speed. So ideal, really. Well, that's the first circuit done. I'm just going to cut in and start the second one. And then I'm probably going to just head off camera and finish this field windrowing up. And I'll be back to you when I'm done that. See you shortly. You join me back as I am just about to complete the windrowing. I think doing all this has just made me think, why didn't I buy a bigger windrower? So that's first, certainly high up on my list of priorities to deal with. But I think the issue is, part of the issue is we need to get a new, to do that, we need to get a new tractor, really, because the horsepower of the big windrowers is much higher, as expected. So we might just have to suffer with our poor performance and small for a while yet. But clearly it is slow work. Which is why I did it off camera, to save you all the absolute boredom of dealing with that. So I think the next thing to check just before I go across there is, how has this machine gone? As long as it's not done a bad job, I'll just finish off the edges quickly. 3 fields to do. I'm thinking these two are quite close to my farm. Not that it really matters, to be honest, but it probably helps to leave these as grass, windrow it up, and take in the and put them in the clamp that's on this farm. Yeah, I think possibly that's the most sensiblest course of action here. Maybe not. I'll have a think about it. I think, but I suppose either way, whether it's silage or whether it's hay, we're still carting it both the kind of similar sort of distances. So I think ideally in the future, for the particularly for the silage, a much bigger trailer with a tractor pulling the silage chopper, the one that goes behind the tractor, is probably a good option in terms of value. Good option, value for money. It allows us then to do less loads, or ideally or a bigger forage wagon. But again, that might lead to us having to have a much bigger tractor, which financially we can't afford at this moment in time. Obviously, I'm not keen to take on loans unless absolutely needed. You deal with smaller equipment until you can afford to do it. We obviously do have that corn to sell again if we need to, but I'd not like to touch that. And hopefully we'll have some butter and cheese to put into our farm shop and turn a nice healthy profit in the next few episodes, really. To keep our eyes on that and see how much it is worth, really. So as I said, these fields are odd shape, so I think it's quite difficult for the worker to kind of utilize it. Course play's obviously on here, but I've had some issues with course play on this map as well, so we might give it a go at some point, but certainly not at this moment in time. Well, a good job, well done. Equipment is. I'm happy with that equipment purchase. I'm actually keen to use this tractor on the forage wagon. I think part of me obviously wants to use this, and the rationale behind that is obviously the steering is really quite good on this, and I'm keen to utilize that steering, particularly. Well, you'll see shortly. The clamp here is it helps having that steering. The interesting bit on these is they've just got little flashing lights on the top, look, instead of a beacon. And there's not on the front, just on the back. It's a little bit different. Again, we make the long trip to the shop. Again, going forward, probably help matters if I kind of just skip this bit and edit it out and say, well, I'm going to the shop, I'm getting this, and then appear at the field with it. If you prefer that, then obviously let me know. Let me know how I can improve a newbie, so to speak. See if I can get past this junction without any vehicles spawning and hitting me. Yeah, the bit on the small side, this forage wagon, but we'll manage for now. A golf course car park on the right hand side. Not many golfers out today. I think another annoying factor is a chapter that's doing 33 miles an hour is faster than the van in front. It's a bit frustrating. So to do this one, I think I'm going to have to go across and then cut in. Yeah. See how far I can get around with this. I don't think I'm certainly not going to get all the way around. I think with yeah, it's a decent amount of. I think we'll get a decent amount of hay off this this land, which will help us set up initially. We've obviously still got to get that straw in as well. Again, going forward with hay lofts, straw lofts, or bales, we will add that realism. But it's hard to do until we've got the finances to do it. Yeah, we're certainly not going to get around this this field with decent way around it, but certainly not going to get all the way around it for the first load. That's it, we're done. Let's go and put this in the silo. Ooh, the cars on this are mad. Absolutely mad. They look like they're coming so fast at you, but actually the reality is they're not moving very quickly at all. It just seems to be when you're coming out of junctions, not clever. I'm gonna, like we said before, we're gonna put the hay in here. I know it's probably not realistic in terms of, but it's a storage option. I think that's probably the best way to say about it, to be honest. It gives us an option. It's always about the storage. See the lights then? The flashing lights on the back one were turned a lot more, were quite bright flashy orange. It's obviously the way we're looking at it. Missed that truck. Yeah, the fields towards the farm are a bit more spread out. There's a bit more travelling, and it's not always ideal. So we need to look carefully what we're going to do with each field, if we want to do something different, and see how we go, really. But clearly we're going to have a decent demand of silage needed. Particularly when the animals are inside in the winter. Anything extra we can sell on, if there is any extra, that is. Yeah, it just does quickly fill up this wagon, which is not ideal, but beggars can't be choosers. We will obviously just have to deal with it, really, and then hopefully it doesn't take too long, keeps people engaged. Anyway, I'm going to skip through these bits. I'm going to obviously run this one back to the farm first. I'm going to come back, I'm going to fill it up, and we're going to continue that until I've done the vast portion of the field, and then you can join back to me towards the end of this episode for this today, and we can go from there. See you shortly. Join me back to just finished this field off. Road. Ooh, car, stay there, good lad. Obviously, deposit this. Been quite a successful episode, and it's drawing to a close. Again, I want to try and keep these episodes short and punchy. I think, obviously, at the moment we've got quite a lot of work on, so it's probably not as interesting as they can be. But again, tomorrow's episode, the next episode really is. I've got to consider getting some of the straw in. I've got some ideas what to do with that. And then obviously them 2 fields that we've mown we need to deal with, and it's probably going to finish August, unfortunately, and not be able to deal with the other ones. But we're obviously going to see how we go. But I've enjoyed creating this, and hopefully see you all for episode 3. And like I said, any comments, any feedback, then by all means, then let us know, and we can make things better. So anyway, all the best, and we will catch up on the next episode.